Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside the ballpark to the Noved Notes podcast, where we interview communities and creators across the platform. Welcome to episode 80, where we have this lovely little rainbow bean, as we teased on the last episode. We have AstrixZ today. AstrixZ, welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Oh, where am I looking? Where am I waving? Wait, where am I waving? Okay, there. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm testing out this new system, so I have like hand tracking now. So because I have hand tracking, the microphone thing takes a little bit to turn on and off. So if there's long pauses, I'm so sorry. But hi, everybody. Hi, hello. My name is AstrixZ. I'm a VRChat influencer, content creator. You have probably seen me in VRChat, METAFES, Projekt Community, HorrorCon, in the what's it called, the VRChat, New Year's Eve. I'm everywhere, but at the same time, I'm nowhere. It's nice to be here. Hi.
Of course. Well, I mean, you kind of briefly explained it, but just to kind of go more in depth, who exactly is AstrixZ?
Okay. So, I don't know. I don't know who I am. Who am I? I'm just kidding. Hi. So I'm a VCAT ambassador this year. I am working alongside Virtual Market to promote their festivals. But besides that, I'm honestly just a small creator that you see floating around somewhere. I used to make short form content. I used to do like little tiny comedy skits that you see when you scroll like YouTube shorts and TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. I used to do funny like shorts like that. But lately now I'm more of a festival advocate, a community advocate. So I shout out communities, I shout out festivals. I participate in community events, mostly the JP side, because I can't wake up in the morning. Well, the American events are so early in the morning. I can't wake up at 5 in the morning. Never again. But yeah, I just do a bunch of stuff here and there. I stream. I stream on Twitch. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know what else you want me to say.
That's fair. I was going to say, obviously, like you had said, you've been around the block when it comes to different types of festival events here in VRChat. But kind of to learn a little bit more about you first. So, where exactly did the name AstrixZ come from?
So, I always like the concept of the beginning and the end. So, fun fact, the name starts with the A and ends with Z. Because it started the end of the alphabet. And I was like, I don't know what else to put in the middle. It was just like,
Smacks keyboard.
yeah. Just like, STRIX. Yeah, sure, whatever. Good. A to Z. So yeah, I mean, I always like the the whole rainbow thing that I am as well. It's like red to purple, or the whole color spectrum is like kind of beginning and end ish, because red to purple. So yeah, I've always been that kind of. I don't know. It's weird. I know, but yeah, that's kind of where it came from, I guess.
No, fair. Well, obviously, it's really cool that you're able to do all these amazing events and stuff. Which, funny enough, joke a little bit of a joke here, because obviously you mentioned being super early in the morning. It's currently like 5:30 in the morning for me, so mind my voice. I'm just gonna flat out say that right now. But we made it happen. We made this happen. I'm really excited to make this happen. So I guess one of the first questions in that regard. So, what exactly got you into VRChat in the first place?
Oh, okay. So getting on VRChat was a total, complete accident. Absolute mistake. So, back in around 2020, like late 2020, my relative had this Oculus Quest 2 headset, and he didn't know what to do with it because he bought it, and I think he wanted to use it for work or something like that. I'm not too sure. But he got it, and he never used it. And at the time, I was still in university for my game development degree. Fun fact, I'm a game developer. I went to university for game programming. Do I ever use it? No. But it helps with Unity, because in my university they were like, hey, we're using Unity for the engine, so yippee, Unity. But yeah, so my relative had this Oculus headset, and he just kind of gave it to me because he didn't know what to do with it. So I took it, because at the time I thought that, oh, maybe I can use it for my game development course. So I got it, and then turns out I never used it for the game development course. I never used it. I kind of just took it and I just put it on, and I just remember like I was seeing like at the time, Ugandan Knuckles was a really famous meme at the time, and I was seeing it everywhere, and I was like, you know what? Since I have a VR headset, let's play VRChat, and I got it, and yeah, that's kind of how it all happened. Yeah.
No, fair. A lot of people got started around that time, roughly about 2017, 2018, when the Ugandan Knuckles started. So you've definitely been around for quite a while. So I guess, one of the biggest questions in that regard, since you've been around so long, you've seen VRChat, evolve and, kind of go through its stages of progression over the years. With seeing all that and keeping that in mind, what are some of the biggest changes that you love to see when it comes to VRChat's growth?
Okay, so biggest changes? There's a lot of changes since the time I came on. It's like, wait, I don't think I have a favorite, but there are a few notable ones. The biggest one, of course, being Easy Anti-Cheat. Let's be real. That kind of crashed the whole VRChat player base. Everybody was like, whoa, Easy Anti-Cheat, what is this? What is it? And everybody went a bit crazy. So yeah, the largest one that I remember from my lifespan here was Easy Anti-Cheat. The other ones that I guess I've seen come on would be the introduction of groups. I think we were both around during that time. And of course the new inventory system, the stickers and all that. But yeah, I mean I guess I was like pre anti-cheat era. So I was like in the era where there were a bunch of crashers in Black Hat lobbies. You remember that? Like when all the people would go to Black Hats, and then, a bunch of screaming children everywhere, and then you get a bunch of like gangs, like VRChat gangs with like those really iconic like emo theme songs, and they would come in with their crash avatars, and they would like just blow up the whole server, not the server but the room, and everybody who was a questie would just totally crash. So when I started VRChat, I was just a Quest player. I was a Quest 2 player, but at that time I was still using my laptop, and I didn't know how to hook it up to my laptop. So I was just kind of like a Quest player. I was a little new little bean in the big vast world of the VRChat, and every lobby I went to, I got crashed. Every single one. I was like, I was fed up with it, so I transferred over to PC VR. Yeah.
Fair. No, yeah, I would say it was definitely a different era. I love how you mentioned funny emo songs. It's definitely an interesting time to say the least. But yeah, obviously, you mentioned groups. Obviously, you also run your own group as well, Omega. So I guess one of the questions, what kind of made you want to start a community here in VRChat?
Okay, so Omega by Atrix originally was just a hangout group for my friend group at the time. We're no longer in contact. Some of them disappeared off VRChat, some of them went to other platforms, so we're no longer connected, unfortunately. But Omega by Atrix was just a small community that did the usual things, the hangouts, the game nights, the movie nights and all that stuff. And then it started getting bigger and bigger because more people just came flooding in. And then my first official big event was my aquarium trip. I took a bunch of people to VR aquariums. And they thought it was really cool because I told everybody to dress up like how they would, dress up for an aquarium trip. So I made an avatar that had like underwater ish, however you want to say. The motif basically was like oceanic or like under the water, sea life. And a bunch of people, well, not a bunch, but a good handful amount of them came wearing something similar. And I was like, hey, this is kind of fun because all my life I have enjoyed artsy stuff. So I've worked as a freelance 2D artist. I've worked as a graphic designer and stuff like that. So yeah, I just thought that clothing in the sense because when you draw, you always have to do character design, you have to draw the clothes, and stuff like that. I always thought that clothing has always been a very interesting thing for me. So I decided to slowly build up my community Omega by Atrix, slowly into a fashion based community. So now we host themed events. Because I actually recently just got a new PC. Um, Omega by Atrix fashion events are currently at a standstill, but we're still doing other smaller events like hosting fun large event parties, birthday parties for people, and other things that need event planning. But the fashion events at the moment, like as of right now, it is at a halt. But once I get settled in my new PC, everything will go back to normal. But yeah, it initially started as a hangout group, and then it just kind of grew over time. Fun fact, if I didn't do game development as my university degree, I would have done fashion design. But my calling for the games, the development of the games was too strong. Well, at least I have Unity knowledge.
No, of course. And, obviously, it definitely shows that you have a bunch of unique experience because with the amazing avatars you create, with all the different outfits, all the different, amazing stuff you've done over the years, it definitely shows. And the fashion side definitely shows out as you've done many different, fashion events over the years. Obviously, one of the bigger ones being with Projekt Community, showcasing many different types of avatars with different fashions at your booth. So I guess kind of one of the bigger questions on that regard, because you've made so many different outfits for your avatar, as well as some other people's avatars as well. So out of curiosity, do you have a ballpark number of how many avatars you've made over the years?
How many avatars? I could say about 200, maybe a bit more. Because for me myself, I have 150 in my VRChat menu. 150 different outfits. I don't use all of them anymore. I only use a select few because I'm always making new ones for new events and new things. Actually, today I actually just made a new one because I'm attending a JP event shortly after this. So I literally just made a new one today. But yeah, it constantly grows. It goes from a little bit to a bit more to a lot really quickly. As for models for others, I used to have kit bashing commissions for people who, like the way I style my avatar and stuff. So I used to have kit bash commissions. But lately, because of my whole PC situation, I kind of stopped doing that for a while. Because I just thought I can't. Besides my laptop, my old laptop not being able to handle the stress of all the files, I need time to adjust to my new computer because I'm still adjusting. I have like a lot of programs I need to learn, because this computer comes with a bunch of new programs, and also I need to slowly transfer over my large gigabyte amount, heaps and heaps of Unity projects and Blender files over to this new computer. So yeah.
Of course, yeah. And, obviously, with everything that's going on, you actually did just do a whole stream recently, and maybe you can send the graphic over. But with all the amazing help from many different creators and communities, after your PC had blown up from during an event that you're working with, your lovely friends, communities, and, creators all came together to help support you. And it's really wholesome to hear that, first and foremost. I just want to say I watched the VOD because I wasn't awake during the actual stream, but I did watch the VOD, and it was really wholesome to see all the amazing things come through and stuff. Shout out to all the people. We'll throw the graphic up on screen. Send me the graphic later, but we'll throw the graphic up on screen. Thank you to all the people who made this amazing being, be able to do what she does, because she does a lot of amazing stuff. For those that don't know, or maybe for the audio listeners, me and AstrixZ here have worked together a little bit on little shorts and bits since Projekt Fest 2024. Fun fact, that's actually where we first met, was Projekt Fest 2024, or right beforehand, because you were. It was actually funny enough because you had posted a tweet on Twitter, doing the, I think it was like collab a day or like a bunch of collabs for a month or something like that. And I was like, you know what? I'll throw my hat in the ring. Why not? And you're like, yeah, let's do something. I was like, let's make a PJKT related one. And me being the constant, person I am, making sure I get things done. But no, I mean, you've done many different shorts over the years. So I guess kind of one of the questions in that regard, so what inspired? Was there any inspirations, like any specific thing or a specific person that like inspired you to make shorts content?
No. There actually was nobody who inspired me to make VRChat shorts content. And I think I've shared this story before, but I'll share it again for the sake of our fun little interview here. Um, Everything that I do in VRChat mainly is a mistake. So, shorts content honestly was done mainly to celebrate my 1,000 followers not subscribers, sorry, 1,000 follower milestone on Instagram. So I decided to make a little celebratory short, just a little small thank you short, and it was kind of fun. So I just started making more and more, and then I met a lot of people in the short form content sphere. So I met people like Finding a Nest. I met people like I'm Shibi. Who else? The Radical Alex and a few others, to name a few. And yeah, so I started hanging out with people in that sector of content, and started making more and more funny skits. But over time, they just stopped feeling fun because I felt like I was doing it out of habit and out of chore than out of enjoyment. So because of that, I kind of took a step back from doing short form content. And I started focusing more on the platform and the people of the platform itself compared to just the content. Because I feel like doing content without meaning is just it has no meaning. The content has no meaning. It's meaningless content. So I didn't find the reason to keep doing it because it didn't mean anything to me. It was just the normal formula of most TikTok creators where they just find a popular sound, just take it, recycle it, do their own funny take on the audio, post, and then they're on to the next one. So doing stuff like that for the year that I was doing short form content, it was very unfulfilling. I felt like I could do way more with the platform that I had instead of just posting funny comedy skits that to me didn't mean anything. Maybe to somebody out there it was like, oh, this person brings me happiness, joy, and entertainment with their funny shorts. I'm sorry I don't do that anymore. But yeah, to me it was a personal thing where I was like, I don't like doing this. So I started reaching out to festivals, which is fun fact. I think Lun actually mentioned that one day I just kind of popped out of nowhere into the VCAT sphere, and he was like, oh, yeah. So I just kind of started making content for people like festivals, people who exhibit for festivals mainly. Then just started hopping here, hopping there, collaborating with different communities, and yeah, that's the whole thing.
No, fair. And obviously, a lot has changed over, the years of different, festivals and stuff. Obviously, with Projekt Community and VCAT, now 3 iterations of PJKT and numerous iterations of VCAT. So I guess one of the biggest questions I want to ask, excuse me, I'll say one of the biggest questions I wanted to ask, was there a particular set of interviews that really stuck out to you? Because obviously you've done many different events. Was there like a set of interviews that like stuck out to you when you made these interviews?
I just want to say, since you did mention the plethora of VCAT VCAT what's it called, festivals, happy birthday VCAT. Just publicly out there. I think it was 7 years of VCAT.
7
I
years.
saw on their Twitter. Yeah, I was a happy birthday VCAT. Just had to get that out of the way because you mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. As for the interviews that stood out to me the most, I've interviewed people from VCAT, PJKT, obviously from this year's PJKT, and I was a MetaFest ambassador last year. So yeah, I just decided to try and reach out to as many people as I could. Tried to be a good representative for each of these festivals: VCAT, MetaFest, and PJKT. And I guess the ones that really stood out to me, the things that I remember the most was obviously interviewing my friends, Aipo and Moisan for MetaFest. Aipo and Moisan are they make the collective duo Amoka, and they are a Japanese band that is very prevalent in VRChat. So when they were a part of MetaFest, I interviewed them. It was really fun to find out the minds behind MetaFest, who decided to make that, and what it was about, what it stood for, and also talk to Aipo because she was an ambassador. And yeah, it was really fun. And then for this year's PJKT Fest, it was great because I only had a select few communities that replied to my request, because I was sending requests out left and right. Who wants to be interviewed? Who wants to be interviewed? And nobody said yes. And I was like, no. But I did get a few, so it was fine. So obviously, haha, shout out Metaverse Degen. Sorry, Noved. But yeah, I got to interview Metaverse Degen. I got to interview Virtual Gauntlet. I got to interview AWMC, Magoovers. What? Who else? Our MPMC. And a few others I can't remember right now. It's like my brain is not fully there. But yeah, it was really fun getting to know all of these different communities that are able to come together in PJKT, because you don't get just one type of community at Project Fest. You get a bunch. You get like cafes, you get like roleplay, and then we have waifus, and then we have a bunch of other like
That's the one you needed.
I'm sorry. And then we have a bunch of other communities like maid cafes. What else? Fashion communities like myself, and music communities, and all these wonderful places and people that come together. And it's great. Yeah. So having the opportunity to interview all these for my little shorts content is something more meaningful than the comedy shorts, because I get to actually impact I guess not only myself, if you want to think about it in the content creator sense. Of course, the people who make the content always, get the views and stuff like that. But besides the views, you get to highlight a part of VRChat that not many people see. Because on VRChat content, at least in the content space for YouTube, it's always trolling content, voice acting, stuff like that. And you never get to see more than that, because that's so popular that you don't get to look behind the trolling. You don't get to look behind some of the malicious things, the drama, to see that there's more to VRChat than just that. So like Noved here, who does podcasts, he comes out, he comes and reaches out to people to talk to people, to get to know the story, and I believe that you do the same thing in trying to get more of VRChat out there than just the trolling and the malicious content, and I think that's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I guess in terms of short form interviews, of course VCAT as well. The VCAT, what's it called? The exhibitors that I've met. So yeah, they're all wonderful. I can't really pinpoint and say which one I like the best, because everybody's an individual. It's kind of like if I'm asking you which podcast guest do you like the best. You can't. It's too hard, right? Yeah. So yeah, same thing. I don't have a specific what's it called, interview that I like the most, but they're all special because every single person's an individual, and I get to showcase their story, just like what he's doing right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I could give my favorites for certain reasons, but like overall would it'd be a difficult choice, to say the least. Yeah, no, I have specific favorite episodes for very specific reasons. Whether it's like this is the one that like I've been able to showcase the most because they gave me all the footage and a half, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, and obviously, there's obviously a lot when it comes to everything you do. So obviously we kind of talked about, relatively interview side when it comes to like favorites, and stuff, but obviously with all the events that your community has held, kind of a similar question in that sense. Was there ever an event that you've held with your community that still to this day holds a good place in your heart?
Yes, definitely. I have a few actually, but the biggest one would be the birthday party that I had this year. So many people showed up. Because we did a bunch of things during that birthday party. We did what's it called? We made a VR cake. So we went to a world and we baked the cake with a little cake making gimmick. We made a cake, and then after that, we went to. Some of us got our fortunes told by a Bobette, who is a really amazing tarot card reader. Um, and yeah, some of us got really shaken by that because they were like, "Oh wow, that really represents my life." And a lot of my guests had fun during that. And then of course, shout out to Code Advanced who allowed us to collaborate with the virtual gauntlet. And we had a little game session. Oh, I still remember Chris Connie was in front of me and he was like, "You can do it!" And I jumped and I fell and I did that for about like 20 times. Chris, if you're watching, you haunt my dreams wherever you are. You haunt my dreams. Yeah. What can I say? I'm really bad at parkour. And then at the end, we had a Make Cafe event with the virtual Make Cafe, which is unfortunately no longer with us because the virtual Make Cafe had shut down in May of this year. So I think my birthday party was one of the last few virtual Make Cafe events before they officially shut down. But it's okay because two new May cafes are actually on the rise right now, if you've heard. The first one is Milky Way May Cafe, and the second is Yume May Cafe. So if you guys like May cafes, those two are on the rise. I have lots of friends who are staffing at these two May cafes. And yeah, they come directly from Virtual May Cafe, so the staff are well trained, they know what they're doing. And yeah, so May cafes. But besides that, other events that really stood out to me would be my winter ball last year. It went so well. My winter ball went so well last year that people want me to do it again this year. So I have to plan a new theme, a new dress code, how people want to dress, what theme it is, and wear and stuff like that. So I got to plan all that. What else? I had other smaller mini events like the Chinese New Year event. Oh gosh, I can't speak today. Chinese New Year event. I taught people who are more on the Western side, people who live in America and Europe, who came for my event. I taught them the cultural significance of Chinese New Year for Chinese people because fun fact, I come from Malaysia. I am a Malaysian Chinese, so I celebrate Chinese New Year. Yeah, so I decided to share my culture a little bit with the people who came for my event, and I told them all to dress in red because on Chinese New Year we wear red. And yeah, I taught them the history, the legend behind Chinese New Year, and it was really fun because it was a cultural exchange. Other things that I really enjoyed doing in my events community, I guess that I can think of would be most memorable. On the top of my head would be highlighting a virtual mall. I'm not sure if you've ever been to any of the events for the mall, but there is a mall that I love to frequent in VRChat. It's called Carat, CARAT. It is a Japanese-based mall, and you get to meet designers from booth.pm. So, where you buy your clothes from booth and all the wonderful. So you get to meet some of the designers behind those assets and you get to go to their storefront like you are shopping in a mall. They have their own storefront and their clothes hanging all in their storefronts. And it's just a wonderful experience to bring people, especially when they've never gone there before. And even though this is technically not under my community, I do make an effort to bring my community to their events when I can because it means a lot to me. Wonderful. If you're watching, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to highlight your community. Warufu is one of the owners of Carrot, which is the Japanese mall. Yeah, so yeah, I guess those are the things on top of my head that I can think that are memorable and meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, there's a lot. And of course, there's going to be pictures, maybe clips if there are any on the screen. So would definitely, it's definitely crazy all the amazing things that, you've been able to do over the years and continue to do so, even, despite the challenges, with the PC and everything. But I guess, speaking of up and coming things, obviously you had announced on that same stream with all the thank yous for the Ko-Fi and the PC, you are actually in the middle of the process of doing a re-debut So I guess, because as this episode's airing, it's gonna be like roughly about 3 weeks from now. It's currently August 27th when we're recording this. But I guess, kind of to talk about it. Why exactly did you want to do a re-debut? Like after everything had happened.
I want to thank my community properly. And the only way that I can do that, in my personal opinion, is to come back better. I'm not saying that I was worse off before. Of course not. We know people change, people grow, people evolve, and we can choose to become better. And in this case, I would like to, I guess, dedicate my new things to my community, because without them, I would not have been able to come back. I would not be able to have the crazy, insane frame rate that I have right now. When I did my stream on YouTube and Twitch, the first thing I saw in the Twitch chat was holy frames. So people were like, "Whoa, there is a difference," because the frame rate on her new stream is like crazy. So yeah, because of this amazing group of people that came together to support me, both in VRChat or financially, or just shouting me out on like platforms like Twitter or Instagram or wherever else that you shouted me out. It helped, and I want to do my best to dedicate all the things that I'm currently doing to that group of people that supported me. You included, actually, because you helped me a lot as well. So yeah, everything that I want to do is kind of like, I would guess, a renewal, and to do things a little better than before. So I'm thinking of doing like, a new outfit, a new world, which I'm dedicating directly to all of the people who supported me. New overlays for my streams, new transitions, new be right back screens, and all that stream things. Yeah. So I just thought it would be a good opportunity to thank people in a way that I know how. And I'm a very visual person. So because of how visual I am in terms of graphics and things, because I know I do like graphic design, I do models, I do like drawing and stuff like that. So because of how visual I am, I thought the best way I can do, besides just a verbal thank you, because yeah, sure, thank yous mean a lot, especially when it comes from the heart. But I want to do more than just say thank you. I want to do more than just, write a tweet longer, the long Twitter post, and be like, oh, thank you so much to my community for doing this. Like, anyone can write an essay. Anyone who goes through this kind of thing, like, I guess, bare minimum, I would say bare minimum, they could write an essay thanking their community. But I want to do more. I want to do something that really makes people feel, wow, the money that I gave her really helped her, and I can see that. Like, I can visually see that the money that I donated on my part, as a contributor, as a donator, as a supporter, has helped her to do something cool. And that's like a little part of me is in this large project. So yeah, that's kind of why I want to do this big re-debut, so people can feel like they contributed in a bigger way than usual. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you technically already did tease the world a little bit in that stream, doing it inside what is currently, I guess, built to say.
Oh no, that's not my world.
Oh, no, that's a different world completely. My
That's
apologies.
not my world.
My apologies.
Okay.
I'm stupid. My apologies. It's also really early for me, so my apologies on that. Hello, everyone. Real quick, just want to pause the episode right here. I want to thank you all so much for watching this far. If you're interested in, maybe watching some of my other content or enjoy what you're watching so far, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It does help me out a lot. And of course, if you're interested in some of the other events and, collaboration projects that I work with, feel free to join the VRChat group at noved.6608. We do put stuff on the calendar for future uploads, as well as many other events that we take part of. I will say, upcoming October 11th and 12th, I'm proud to announce that we are officially going to have the 2-year anniversary of the Noved Squad, where we'll have 2 whole days worth of performers for a charity event, all for the International Association for Suicide Prevention. Much more details will come at a later date. But if you're interested in that, make sure to join the VRChat group and join the Discord by looking at the link tree or in the VRChat group itself. But let's get back into the episode. Woo! Or don't. I'll let you decide. Let the mistakes happen. It's scuff. we deal with scuff. But uh,
Yeah, we embrace the scuff.
somewhat. Um, but yeah, no, I mean it's still really cool the fact that you're wanting to essentially go further beyond with the thank you and doing a dedicated world. Because obviously with yourself you do a lot of avatar work, so to see kind of a world from you, because obviously you do have 3 worlds currently where it currently stands as we're recording this. So I guess one of the biggest things in that regard. So what made you want to like create worlds inside of VRChat? Obviously you have all the avatars with the fashion, but what made you want to create worlds?
I am a large, massive, huge liminal space fanatic. I love dreamcore. I love weirdcore. I love liminal spaces. And, we don't have enough liminal spaces in the real world, let alone VR chat. We have tons of backrooms worlds in VR chat. But do we have anything that's like not backrooms liminal space? Yeah. So I've been shifting towards liminal spaces a little bit when it comes to my world building. But the previous worlds, the first world that I have made actually, is just a practice world, just to see that I can actually do this. I can actually upload a world to VRChat and stuff like that. I don't use that world anymore. Shout out to Hello I'm BMO because that's where I bought the asset from. And then from there I made my second world, which was my birthday world for last year. I wanted to have a space, a little community space where all my friends could come over, my community members could come over, and yeah, just chill. Just chill. Yeah, sorry. My frame rate is like, I mean, my frames are fine. It's just my internet today is really bad. But yeah, I had this the world that I made was a little community space for all my community members and friends to come over to chill, and it was also the venue for my birthday party last year. So there are a bunch of photos of people that I used to talk to. Unfortunately, again, some of them have gone out of VR chat, lived in the real world, doing living their best life. And yeah, so at least I still have the memories on in that world. But yeah, that world was built for community. And then after that, my third world was because I was a VCAT community collaborator in 2024, VCAT winter 2024. And I wanted to have a little holding space before we started world hopping because I was taking people on tours, fashion tours. So people would dress up in a certain theme, join the tours, and just, explore like they're part of that world instead of just people going through the booths and just, looking at stuff for the sake of looking. They felt like more immersed, I guess, when you dress for the occasion. So yeah, I just decided to make a little holding space for people. Just I asked the VCAT team if I could have the little VCAT, the 3D VCAT thing that they have in all their worlds. Yeah, I asked if I could have the 2024 version, and they let the community collaborators have it. Just slapped it on there, put some iconic bean colored bubble rainbow stuff there, and just called it a day. Yeah, so that was my little holding space. Yeah, so my upcoming world is in the works at the moment, and I hope it impresses everybody. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry.
No, I think it'll do well. No, knowing the amazing people you have on your corner, I think it'll do very well. But but yeah, so obviously, there's definitely, we've talked about a lot when it comes to everything you do. There's definitely a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that not a lot of people see, of course. You kind of briefly mentioned it a little bit earlier, making the shorts content kind of changing over time. So I guess one of the questions I want to ask, because obviously with content creation, a lot of things do happen behind the scenes, like burnout or overexertion when it comes to, making shorts. So I guess one of the questions I wanted to ask for you, what is a way that you deal with burnout and, kind of, over pushing yourself? Like what's a couple ways that you kind of deal with that?
Well, Noved, funny you ask. You know why? I'm a workaholic just like you. Burnout, I welcome it with open arms. I don't get over burnout. Burnout gets over me. Okay? No, but real talk. I'm gonna be real, I don't take very good care of myself. When I get burnt out, I get really upset with myself because I feel like, oh, I have so much time. Why am I not using this time productively? Yet I'm still burnt out. So it's like, oh, I'm burnt out. I don't want to do anything, but I should probably do something because I have so much time. So I'm always in a constant battle between these things, especially since now I'm on the Metaverse Degen network team. I'm part of the interview relations, graphic designs, and short content creator team where I'm making their shorts for their interviews and like all the stuff, like the behind the scenes stuff for them. And besides that, I'm also part of the moderation team for Emil Hawes Community Oasis, and I'm also writing many articles about different creators over on VRC Legends, which is a online wiki that you can go to on Google. And yeah, just check out a bunch of different creators, YouTubers, community members, communities itself. I'm on there. Noved, I think you're on there, but if you're not, don't worry, I'll write one for you.
Sorry
But
about
yeah,
the website. No, I'm
so
not. I have seen it though.
oh
I'm on the
well,
wiki. I'm on the wiki, but not the actual website one.
oh the
There's two.
VRChat wiki.
Yeah. There's two different ones.
Oh yeah, no,
There's the VRC Legends
yeah.
wiki, and then there's the actual VRCLegends.com, which I am not on. I am on the
Uh,
wiki, just not on the actual one. But
no, yeah,
I
I
have
write
seen
on the
many.
wiki.
Yeah. Yeah, I am on the wiki. Yes, that one I am on. It's
Okay, yeah,
it's super outdated, but I am on the wiki.
it's time to update it.
I
But I'm
updated
doing
it briefly.
oh. But yeah, I am doing a bunch of stuff, different things, between going for JP community events, trying to make it for North American events, despite it being at 3 to 5 in the morning. Yeah, just talking to a bunch of communities, doing a bunch of things behind the scenes, like I do my own graphics, I do my own stream things. I don't have a manager as some people say, because I guess because of what I do, I'm kind of considered a VTuber because I stream, but I don't have a manager. I draw all my little emotes using free emote bases that you can find, of course, with the creator's permission, obviously. And then yeah, so I kind of do everything myself. Besides working in the other communities that I mentioned earlier. And burnout has always it always comes with everything you do. No matter what you do, you can. It's like, if you for example, you like eating ice cream, but you only eat one type of ice cream, and after a while, your taste buds are gonna be like, bleh, I don't like the ice cream anymore. That's what burnout feels like. Ice cream doesn't taste sweet anymore, so work doesn't feel rewarding anymore. But I guess it depends on how different people deal with burnout. Some people take a break, some people take a hiatus. And if it gets too bad on my end, I do that. I take a hiatus. But for the most part, I kind of just tough through it. I kind of just, go with the flow and see what happens and push myself until I break out of burnout. Yeah, so yeah, I guess I don't know. I not a really conventional answer on how to overcome burnout. I'm not the best guru. But hey, if burnout is kicking you in the face, you should turn it around and kick it in the face, because you're in charge. Yeah, yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, realistically, everybody has their own means of dealing with burnout, and it is a common question here on the podcast, mainly because there are a lot of different types of people on the podcast. Everyone deals with it in different ways. So I guess more on the positive side of things, when it comes to stuff. Because obviously you've collaborated with many different people, as you had mentioned, with Metaverse Degen and Emil Community Oasis, VCat, PGKT, METAFES. So I guess one of the questions I wanted to ask, are there any dream projects or collaborations that sometime while in your VRChat career that you would love to make happen?
I don't have a particular person that I say I would like to meet, or a particular community that I would say I would like to collab with, because I don't want people to feel like I'm a transactional creator. Because I'm not. I like to I guess, pride myself on not being a transactional creator. If I want to promote you as a creator, that's by my own volition. That's by my own choice. I do not expect somebody to return the favor at some point. You know, so for me, when it comes to collaborating with certain people or collaborating with, I guess, quote unquote famous people, I don't have a particular person that I would like to reach out to specifically. But hey, I mean, if anybody wants to reach out to me, I have socials everywhere. You can find me anywhere. I don't mind. My DMs on Discord are mostly open on trusted communities. So if you're in the PJKT server, most likely you can message me. But yeah, I don't have any specific creators because I feel like, I don't know. If I were to give a list, I think I've met all the pretty amazing people in VRChat. I've met Filian. I have met really big people on the shorts content sector, I guess, if you would like to say, like Nest and Shibi and Alex. I've met people who do podcasts like yourself and Lion and whoever else that Nova Redux. I've met Nova Redux. I've met the VCAT team. I've met people like Lun, Haya. I've met Midnights in Valhalla. Chayado Sensei, the funny VRChat man who's on all the gifts. Yeah, so I mean, I didn't come into VRChat thinking that, hey, I'm gonna meet this person, I'm gonna meet this person, I'm gonna meet this person. No, I came into VRChat because I thought funny Ugandan knuckles, haha. So I had like no idea that my little mistake, I guess you would call it, my little mistake would become a blessing, in a way where I kind of funnel down through the large umbrella of VRChat all the way down to this little small tiny 1% where all of us content creators work together with big teams like Hiki, Polygon Taylor, Gungenka, and the VRChat dev team even. So yeah, I mean, if you were to ask me like 2 to 3 to 4 years ago when I started playing, would I be here right now, sitting in this chair talking to the NovedPlayer? No, I would say no. I don't know.
Don't even say it like that. I do not deserve any type of phrasing like that.
You are deserving.
Shush.
A manifestation. But yeah, I know I don't have any specific people I want to meet. Like, if I meet them, I meet them, and if I don't, then it just wasn't in the cards. It just wasn't in the fate that the world had for me, and that's okay. I don't mind. I'm not like, oh, I gotta meet everybody in VRChat. How many people are here? 100 million or something like that. I don't know how many.
Not that many.
I gotta meet every single person.
A lot.
Yeah. So I'm happy. I'm quite content where I am. I get to be with wonderful people like Noved, the PJKT team, the VCAT team, like the JP communities that I'm a part of, and of course all the other NA and EU communities that I know. It's a great place to be. I mean, yeah, just I guess if you want some tips on how to be like me, please don't. But if you want to know how to be like me, just be nice, I guess. Just have no expectations. Just be nice. Just kind of go where the universe wants you to go. And hey, maybe you might end up on the Nova Note podcast, like right here. Wow, amazing.
You are too kind, first and foremost. But well, I guess kind of to re-elaborate the question a little bit, because obviously, there's a lot of organizations like VCAT, PJKT, Forjadores, all these bigger, conventions. And obviously there's a lot of other organizations outside, of VRChat that does use VRChat people for their stuff. I guess a perfect example, it's still related, but like VCAT Real, stuff like that. So I guess, if you know of any, and if you don't, we could just dodge this question. But, are there any like organizations outside of VRChat that maybe you would be interested in like working with, or like like obviously there's like Sanrio V Fest, there's a lot of different options out there. I don't know if you've ever thought of this, but just out of curiosity, have you ever had any thoughts about, working with said organizations, outside of like VCAT and PJKT and MetaFest? Excuse me.
Oh no, that's fine. I guess working with Sanrio V Fest would be fun because I haven't worked with them before. But I could take it or leave it, really. I don't mind. If they reach out to me and say, hey, you can be an ambassador for Sanrio VFest, cool. I get to be an ambassador for Sanrio VFest. And if I don't, I don't. It's okay. I don't particularly have a specific community, or not community, sorry, company in mind that I guess I would want to collaborate with particularly. I mean, if big VTuber agency comes over and says, hey, you, yes, you, we want you. I'll be like, okay. I mean, yeah, sure. I don't mind collaborating with them, and if they don't, then they don't. It's fine. It's all good. Yeah. Sorry if that's not the answer to your question. I just
No, it's
I don't
okay.
have a.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It was just a genuine curiosity question. Because obviously you've been doing it for so long. So it's always kind of curious to see like what ideals people have in mind. Or maybe not ideals that they have in mind. It's just a genuine curiosity question. Also, since we're 50 minutes into the episode, fuck V Shoujo. Anyway, but had to put that out there. We're far enough into the episode where I can properly say it. That one don't count. Anyways, but yeah, no, I mean it's definitely a lot when it comes to everything you do in that sense, working with all these different conventions, getting, the community as starting from a small friend group, into what it is today. I mean, granted, you've been doing it for such a long time now, like you said, from 2017, 2018, give or take, with the Ugan and Knuckles era. I mean, quite frankly, you're almost at 1,000 members in your VRC group as it stands, which is not an easy thing to say the least, especially for a solo creator, who's essentially working with other communities and stuff. So obviously, one of the bigger questions, because obviously you've done all these events, you've done, all these different festivals and stuff. So I guess one of the questions I want to ask, because obviously you spend a lot of time working. I mean, you kind of mentioned earlier, it's always, it's always kicking butt and, trying to, fight the burnout and kick it in the face. But when it comes to not necessarily taking breaks, but essentially being able to relax as a content creator, what are some ways that you personally, relax and like, kind of de-stress from, working so much?
I spend money I don't have. So, when I get too stressed, because my workplace is technically, well, my home, obviously. My computer is all here, everything I do, everything at home. So my house instantly becomes a workplace. And it gets a little stifling the more you stay in your workplace, even though it's, your home and your workplace, you mix it together, it becomes a sanctuary, but it also becomes prison. So what I do to relax, fun fact, is actually I go out, I dress up all pretty, I get real pretty. I'm not that pretty. But I dress up. I wear nice clothes. I have lots of rainbow clothes. I wear rainbow clothes. I go out. Spend a bit of money at a cafe somewhere. Cause fun fact, Malaysia has many different themed cafes. We have a cyberpunk cafe. We have a pink flower cafe. I'm not sure if that's still running actually at this current time. It might have shut down. There is a lemon themed cafe. There are, just a bunch of different themed cafes all around Malaysia. So I got a car. I got my license. I got money. Vroom beep beep. I just go out and just have some pastries, man. Have some like cute little strawberry tarts and have like a frappuccino. Just go ham. And then once that is done, I go home. Sometimes sometimes I'm involved with IRL events as well. So I plan birthday parties IRL for, well, mainly my family and people outside of my family, but like close friends. So I host birthday parties for them, large events. The cake, the venue, the stuff like that is all done by me. And I guess that's kind of work away from work, which kind of refreshes me in a way. It's really strange because you're doing work to get away from work, but it helps. So yeah, have multiple jobs.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, yeah, no, I mean that's fair. I guess in other words, don't do too much of the same thing at once, to say the least. That might be the best way of phrasing that. Because obviously, with you doing as much as you are, obviously there's, to say the least, a lot of different. You're constantly changing throughout the year, working on different things. So definitely keeping things on top of things and um making things work, I guess, is the best way of saying at the very least. I was gonna say, because obviously, kind of one of the last questions I have for you. So I guess one of the biggest things, that maybe people, if it's not already aired by now, because I'm trying to get ahead of schedule for major upcoming events here. Oops, as I'm lagging a little bit. There we go. Cool. I'm gonna stop lagging. Trying to get episodes out as fast as I can because of big upcoming events. Which I should be, as of right now, already announced. If not, post editor, feel free to cut this bit out. But with the October events for the Noved Squad, obviously with Omega being one of the partnered communities of Noved Squad, you probably already saw the pings and everything, but you will be getting your own neon sign inside of the charity event world, and we'll be sending that to you over as well. Wow. But I guess one of the things I wanted to ask, because obviously you've had so many booths and stuff and different exhibits from different communities. What are some of the highlights for you personally when it comes to exhibiting at some of these events?
I guess
From
mostly
your personal
it's
take.
time to. Oh yeah. So mostly I guess it's time for in how do I say this? How do I say this? English is hard. Time that I get to spend with my friends while they're working, such as yourself. So I get to hang out with the PJKT people where they're doing their job. And I also get to meet new people who may be interested in fashion, because my community is a fashion-based community. Yeah, I get to meet different people from different community, especially the representatives, because they're always at their booths. And yeah, I get to talk with them, get to know more about their community. They get to know more about mine. And yeah, just find a bunch of people who like a bunch of things that I do, and it's great because it gives me kind of this platform where I can just talk freely with whoever comes into VRChat, old or new. If they're looking for just something different, and if fashion's up their alley, then hi, I'm here. Yeah, so it's the same with VCAT and MetaFest as well. However, I have never exhibited. Fun fact: I've never exhibited for VCAT and MetaFest before. So maybe sometime in the future. Whoa.
No, for sure. But yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely been a crazy journey for you, to say the least, and we're very glad here to kind of showcase that. So, but yeah, AstrixZ, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I guess before we do end things off, one last question. You kind of already briefed this a little bit, so I don't want to you don't have to dwell on it too much, but if there's one piece of advice that you can give for somebody that's interested in event organization, or maybe festival, like working with festivals, what's one piece of advice you can give?
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it. Make your dreams come true.
I don't know what I was expecting, but you know what? That's very on character. Oh boy, you're gonna make my editor put the Shia LaBeouf thing on there. That's crazy.
Yes, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, but yeah, you miss all the shots you don't take. So if you don't take them, it's gone. If you take them, there is at least a percentage chance that it'll work out. So do it. Because if you don't do it, you'll fail 100%. Failure will be 100% for you if you don't decide to take that step and do something. That's kind of how I've been living my life the entirety of my VRChat career. I see Google form for PJKT. I sign up. I forgot about it. But then Wolveeps came back and said, "Hey, you qualified." I'm like, "Huh? What's this?" Yeah, now I'm here. Yeah, so I signed up for a bunch of different things like VCAT, PJKT, METAFES, lots of different things, and it would not have happened if I didn't take the first step to do it. So whatever you're thinking of, whatever you have in your mind, in your heart that you dream of, take the first step. Just go for it. I know that you have hesitations, you have worries, you have thoughts saying that, oh, what if this, what if that? You deal with that as it comes. If that thing were to happen, you deal with it when it comes. Enjoy the time where you don't have a problem. Yeah. And just start from there. And the problems do come. It's okay because you're going to be in a community with people who can help you solve those problems together with you. And you can ask for advice because you'll be like, for example, if you want to join Projekt Community, you can ask the staff team for advice. They're there to help you. They're not there to condemn you to say, oh, you've never participated in PJKT before, boo boo. No, they're not going to do that. That's not what they're there for. They want to make VR a wonderful place for communities. They want to help people in, giving a place for the community to shine. They're not going to shun you. They're not going to condemn you. So yeah, whatever it is, if it's in your job, if it's in your career, well, job and career, the same thing, duh. If it's in your passion, your hobby, or something something small, like you want to start a tiny like babysitting business for your relative, or you want to do something cool, just do it, man. You never know where it goes. Yeah, so don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it. I'm sorry.
Give my editor, aka put future me, work. All right. Well, fair enough. Oh my lord, I'm gonna have to find a green screen version of that for just to put like right here or something. Thanks.
You know what would be funny if I go do a green screen right now and it shows up on screen right now of me doing Just Do It.
Oh my lord. Of course. Oh man, but in all seriousness, AstrixZ, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was a blast to kind of learn a little bit more about you, even though we've known each other for a while now. Kind of to learn a little bit more backstory from you, and get the chance to talk to you. This was a blast.
I'm clapping, but you cannot hear it. Hear my clapping. I'm overjoyed. Thank you so much, Noved, for having me here. This is my second time being interviewed, so this is fun. Yeah, I'm very happy and lucky that you decided to hey, you interview, and I'm like, oh, me. Yeah, so yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm really happy to be able to share with your audience on what I do and give them really bad, terrible advice. And yeah, this is fun. Thank you so much.
Of course. It was a long time coming, to be fair. I've just been all over the darn place, and I'm getting to the list that I've had for a long time. So, and technically you were already teased in the last episode. So, if people figured it out, yes, this is the one we teased. Ha ha ha. If you watch the episode with Akane Chiba, this is the one we teased. This little rainbow bean that we both are very happy to have as homies. But before we do end things off, I do want to give you a spot to tell the people where they can find you, any links you want on screen in the description. Please, no more Just Do It's. But go ahead and tell the people where they can find you. But yeah, take it away.
You can find me on most social platforms, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, Oshi, social, where else? A bunch of other places. I'm all over the place. The @ is AstrixZVR. That's AstrixVR. And yeah, I'm all over the place. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch, and yeah, it's just everywhere. I also have a Ko-Fi, but I don't really want you guys giving me money on my Ko-Fi. Save your money. That's for you to go buy a strawberry tart with. I think that's it. I don't really have anything else. If there's anything else, I'm probably sure it's going to be in your description, right?
Absolutely. All the links will be down in the description. And of course, you should also join AstrixZ's VRChat group. If you are interested in joining said group, the short code is going to be, as soon as my VRChat just decides to stop being goofy, it's going to be Astrix.9812. So ASTRIX.9812. We'll have it here on the screen right here. But yeah, ladies, gentlemen, everybody inside and outside the ballpark, that has been it for episode 80 of the Nova Notes podcast. I want to thank you all so much for watching, listening, depending on what platform you're on. Comment down below, what is your favorite type of fashion? What's your favorite type of fashion? Comment down below. What's your favorite type of fashion? We'll definitely check it out in the comment section. But yeah, if you are coming back to check out some of the other episodes or maybe new to the channel, why not hit that subscribe button? You're already coming back anyway. But with that, I think that's everything. I want to thank you all one last time for watching, listening, depending on what platform you're on. And I will see you in the next episode. Take care and peace. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Noved.